Look what Sandy forgot to do last night. If she had a cell phone, she'd be on the cell phone right now. Get it up. There it is. Welcome to Sheep Farming 101. You guys, I've had a tough night, tough morning. Daily vlogging's great if everything works, meaning your equipment. I ran into some issues with my camera a couple weeks ago. I dropped it. And ever since, my zoom has been really messed up. I had a ton of footage yesterday, all on how I select my replacement ewe lambs. And it was all blurry. My face was blurry, everything was blurry. So I tried my best trying to kind of edit and throw in some B-roll just to make it less, like if you have vertigo, you would not have been able to watch it. So yeah, just hours of extra editing. I should be able to edit a daily vlog just because they're very like clippy and short and kind of like fast paced and not so technical. Well, yesterday's video was a very technical one. It's like the worst one to not have your stuff work. So I'm tired and I'm really late starting chores. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning and I don't start chores this late, but I wanted to get that video kind of knocked out because you guys have been asking how I kept my replacement ewe lamb. So I really found this one important to share. So I hope it was okay. Comment below if it was okay for you guys. And if it wasn't okay, I just really apologize and I appreciate you guys being here. Anyway, I got to get to the barn and do chores, and the boys fixed my lawnmower last night, so I'm thinking cutting grass will be in the future of today. And also, I have those 31 market lambs that need to go to the sales barn later today. So I'll catch up with you in a bit after chores. Oh shoot, look what Sandy forgot to do last night. Uh-oh. It's a good thing they're not young. So I got all the lines all purged again with milk. Now, the problem with them running out, I just have to make sure they don't drink so much that they get like a bloaty belly. But so far, they haven't figured out that it's not water. Some of them are big enough. They're probably almost time to wean, these bottle babies, because I wean at about 35 to 40 days. And these guys started coming out about April 2nd, I think, some of them. So we're at May 6th today. So yeah, they're already like 30 days old. Some of them. Let's go see if anybody's lambed at the back corner. I'm laughing at Ruby. She's my kind of mom. She's kind of just chilling, doing her own thing. If she had a cell phone, she'd be on the cell phone right now, and her babies are like totally self-sufficient in the lamb lounge. Ruby Sue and Rusty. checking out the digs. My little teenagers now. I can't believe this lamb lounge compared to the other one. Usually the younger lambs aren't as keen on this, but they've been keen on this area since day one. Nice lambs. Hello, Goat. Goat's been much friendlier since she's been, you know. Your babies are getting older. They're not as reliant on you. Where are they? Where are your babies? We've kind of been distant the last couple of weeks. You've been just being a super mom. Get it up. Get it up. Get it up. There it is. Oh, there's one of Goat's right there. 80. They're tall. She can see her. Isn't that hilarious? This is your mommy. Come say hi. See if the lamb will come out. Here she comes. Where's my mommy? Here's my mommy. Notice she's been not really standing for her lambs as much. Should probably feel her udder, make sure she's not got mastitis. She looks pretty content if she has mastitis. I think she's just saucy. Okay, my daily disappointment. Still nothing. They are getting very pink though. Pink udders and pink back ends. That's usually a good sign. Once their tails start to go, then we're probably pretty close. Hi, Mama. My babies seem okay today. All right, chores. Guilty. I gotta get through. Thank you. Okay. Think they'll go? Yep. That was really good. Good girls and boys. You are right. Welcome to Sheep Farming 101. Just have to put everything away. Just loaded up those 31 lambs to get shipped, and they loaded so well. Even Jess was like, that was the best they've ever loaded. And sometimes they load good and other times not so good. Always a blessing when they do. So that is really nice to have. I had 50 last week, 31 this week, so that's like 81 in 2 weeks. Oh, look at me with math. And that typically, my groups are usually not quite that close together. Looking back at this December group, I do remember I had quite a few that first 8 days, and then I had another whole group the week after. So I'm thinking all the ones that are left right now in the barn are the ones from that. There was a 5-day break right before Christmas, I believe, and I think I finally hit that. I might have a handful next week again to bring to market, and then after that I think they're going to be like the slush, because they went from being basically like 98 pounds plus down to maybe the low 90s, mid 80s and under. So I'm thinking those are the ones that were born late December, early January. So they're just nicely 4 months, those ones. So that's the thing with having a big spread in lambs. I just find you're gonna have big clumps of lambs to ship. I don't mind because I can ship right now. I'm not lambing and I'm not in the field, obviously. It was nice that we finished planting corn last night. I actually don't help very much planting season. I'm very much involved during the summer when we have to do wheat and we have to do hay. And then obviously at harvest, I'm very much needed to run the buggy or run wagons. So, you know, isn't too much pressure on the whole overlap. It's just if something goes wrong and I need help, I can't really steal the help from the grain side because it is just so stressful and so hectic. But that went really nice. I probably could have loaded that trailer myself, but every time I plan for that, then it usually doesn't go as good as you want it to. So I'm gonna take these up to up to the sales barn, and then I'm gonna come home and I might go back into the barn quick and go through what breed of sheep that I have. I keep promising you that I will do a video on it, and I just haven't taken the time to do it. And so I will go in, and it's a good time to do it while these breeding groups are still together. They're only together for another week. So I might as well go through and just do a refresh on my breeds that I have in the barn. So I guess I'll see you in a couple seconds. I think I'm gonna come in here because it's a little quieter. The wind's really howling in there today. Everybody asked me what breed of sheep do I run in here, and I've done some videos in the past. I've changed it a little bit this year because I brought in a new breed of rams. The breed is not new to my barn, however, so I guess I'll start with my maternal ewes. It is a commercial flock, so I have a little bit of everything. I talked a little bit about that yesterday in yesterday's video. In 2015, I believe, or 15, I think it was, I decided to bring in some new ewe genetics that I wanted to start keeping replacement lambs off of. So I bought them from John and Edie Steele. That company has now changed to another farm, but it's the same sheep, and this family was working with John and Edie, I believe, to make the transition. So it is Shepherd's Choice Genetics, and so I've just nicknamed the sheep a Steele ewe, and that was because their name was John and Edie Steele. So when I say, oh, my Steele ewes, it's totally a Sandy made up name, and it's not, you will not be able to, you might be able to Google it, but I made it up. So I in all my record keeping and everything, I just have it always identified as a Steele composite ewe. So that breed is made up of 4, but the main base genetics of that breed is a Rideau Dorset. And a Rideau is a Canadian breed. It was made at the University of Guelph. And of course, Dorsets are worldwide and pretty famous for breeding out of season. So that is why I really like this particular composite breed. John and Edie did a bunch of research on how to get those to work really well for them on a pasture-based system, because theirs was 100% pasture. So they've brought in a couple New Zealand genetics to just give a little more hardiness to that sheep, so they could range really well and gain really well on pasture or even just marginal land. So they do really well for John and Edie, and I find that particular breed have fed really well. So if you bring them in a house facility like me under a real regimented TMR system, feed them like a dairy cow, basically, they will perform like a dairy cow. So when John and Edie were doing it, they were getting good numbers out of them. And I would think on systems in Ontario, quite like mine, we have been seeing a lot of prolificacy in that flock. I don't think they set out to make them really prolific, but it just turns out that, you know, the Rideau as a part of that genetics will make that animal prolific. So I brought in the Steele ewe because I knew I really like a Dorset Rideau ewe lamb. That is my ultimate breed for in this barn. I love lambing them. I love working with them. They're quiet. They're the ones that are going to become the friendliest. So I just really like working with a Dorset Rideau ewe. So as my replacement flock is getting built, I had the Steele ewe as the mom, and I brought in purebred Rideaus, who I buy from a guy near Guelph, and I buy all my rams from him, all my Rideau rams from him. I've been really happy with them. Billy's dad, William, was from this guy, Bill. All my Rideaus come from him, and they breed the Steele ewe, and that's makes my F1 cross. That cross, then, I usually breed to a terminal, unless I need the replacements. I try to all the offspring I try to breed to a terminal ram, which is either Suffolk or Ile-de-France. This year I brought in 5 new steel rams. So the one dud ram that you saw is one of those rams. I'm not necessarily sure he's a dud. I'm wondering if he's had a health challenge. The reason I brought those steel rams in is because I really want to breed my original steels, the one steel used, the ones that are left still. So they'd be probably 5 and 6 years old, a lot of those. I want to get them bred with those steel rams to develop a new, a new generation of purebred steel composite ewes. So that's kind of the plan with my sheep. And yeah, so terminal is Suffolk and Ile-de-France, and my maternal is the steel composite and the Rideau. So between those two very different kind of breeds, that's basically what my flock is built on. Most of my replacements are that steel cross of some sort, but there's a little bit of everything. The different colors that you're going to see, a lot of the black speckled crosses will be probably Suffolk sired. So the Suffolks have the black head, the black legs. The really brown and silvery and different colored speckly lambs, a lot of those are those Rideau influence. And Rideaus can also come out pure white, and Rideaus can also come out pure black, and Rideaus can also come out painted. So just like Billy. So I love Rideau because you never know what you're gonna get. I love the multicolored lambs. That's just a preference. I do. So as soon when I say I don't like pretty sheep, I actually do like. I just like odd sheep. That is the breeds that I run here. They work really well for me, right or wrong. I don't have many Ile-de-France. I'm down to, I think, 3 Ile-de-France rams, and I've lost a few Suffolks. So I think I'm down for a total in that pen. I think I only have 9 rams between the Suffolk and the Ile-de-France now, and then the 5 steel rams, and I think I still have about 15 Rideau rams. Where is that going to go in the future? I'm not really sure. If I could keep them separate really good, I really like my Rideau rams. They always say that the Rideau, you're not going to get those gains, and they're not a really nice market weight lamb. And the first ones out the door are usually the Suffolk or the Rideau. It's not my Ile-de-France. For me anyway, they just don't seem to make the market weight as quick. They make beautiful lambs. Like, I'm sure the meat is wonderful on the Ile-de-France. Just takes me a little longer to get them there, which shocked me. So I doubt I will bring much more Ile-de-France into the system. I would imagine I will have more Rideau and have to find a way to really start segregating them out so I don't have any issues with inbreeding. A lot of people ask me, how do you control, to make sure the ewe lambs aren't getting bred by dad? I have everything in my Gallagher system, so everything in here. And I sort by breed. So I keep it very simple. So if that ewe under sire says Rideau, I'm not going to breed her to the Rideau pen. So that's what I mean by saying if I switch to all Rideau someday, I'd have to do a very good, then I would have to keep track of numbers in those pens or go to like a single sire mating. And I'm just not there. I'm just not at that level yet. So, but that is how I make sure daddies don't breed daughters. And the reason I haven't been keeping rams back, so Billy, this is a new experiment, keeping him and those other 2 black and white ones back, because I have to do a very good job of making sure they don't breed. I just want to make sure, he doesn't get put in mom's pen again, which he's already proven he is very capable of doing. So I hope that answers that question on the breeds here. I'm trying to keep it very simple for the people that aren't farmers, that still want to follow along. I don't want to get too technical, but if you Google any of those breeds, you can see, what traits they carry and, why I might be going with some of those things. The thing with the Suffolk, I try not to keep the Suffolk and the Ile-de-France in the maternal line as much. They get a bit big. And when they get big, you need to feed them a little more to keep that animal serviced. And I want to keep my ewes kind of at a half decent size, I guess you could say.